One of the best places in the world to go caving is Slovenia, which has more than 11,000 caves. And one of the best places for that is the Krizna cave, which we show here, which has a string of 22 lakes that you can paddle through. And so that's what we do. In these videos, you see we've all put on heavy layers of clothes, anywhere up to 6 layers, put on a red overall, helmet, rubber boots, and lamp, and off we go. And so some of it is kind of low to get started. And at this point, you can see us dropping through an area where it's about a 3-foot clearance from the roof to the water. And we paddle along, that's our guide in front. And we get to an area where it shows a couple of rafts that are higher up on the wall of the cave, and that's because the water level can get a lot higher. And when it does, you can't get in there at all, or out. But we are in, so here we are. There are 22 lakes, and the way you get from one to the next is to pick up the boat, walk it along to the next one, drop it in, and we all jump back in and paddle along to the next. These lakes are generally not that long. We could be in the water for just a couple of minutes on each individual lake, but some are actually quite long. And once we're in, we get into these beautiful galleries. And so as you see us going down one of the longer galleries, there's some very interesting overhead formations, as well as off to the side, and it's really quite unworldly. It looks like you're somewhere where the alien is about to pop out at you. But on other occasions, it's really just kind of neat. These formations will show up on either side, which have been gradually growing in size over thousands of years. And we paddle along. And also, if you look down, you'll notice the water is incredibly clear. It could be a few inches deep in places, 10, 20 feet in others. And it's really hard to say because there's just no particulates in the water to reflect off of and give any sense of what the depth really is. And as we go through, and incidentally we're going through over a mile deep into the cave, more nifty items keep popping up on one side or the other. Now we're in here all by ourselves. There are 4 people allowed per day under a permit system along with a guide, and that's it, for a grand total of 1,000 people per year. And so we get to paddle along all by ourselves in the complete darkness and see these incredible formations. Also, we can do some sound effects. So you can rap on some of these items and you get a very nice melodious tone pops out. And in other cases, you can come up next to them and rock the boat from side to side, and the waves will go underneath the formation and come up with this large, sort of a bass, rolling bass sound. Some items look like frozen waterfalls, like this one here. It just goes up and up and up and vanishes off into the ceiling somewhere. That may have taken 100,000 years for that to grow from nothing. And finally, at the very end, which is around 2.5 hours into the cave, there's a turnaround point. The caves actually keep going, but there's not very good access at certain times of the year, so this is where we stop. I have to stand in just certain locations because a government employee will check and make sure we haven't walked into any areas and damaged them, and they could pull the tour operator's license otherwise. Get to walk around a bit, and here's a photo of our intrepid explorers all lined up. Eventually. And that is it. So that's a quick look at what it's like to be in the Krizna cave in Slovenia. Hope you enjoyed the tour.